Hey guys, sorry about the absence last week. Just been crazy busy. Okay, first of all, while you're looking at this, don't mind the splash screen. It's just a a placeholder. Okay, so this week going to be a pretty short thing, but we've got some stuff to show. I'm basically just going to go over some of the new things in Black Sea. So yeah, let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and use the disclaimer that it is it is still in development. A lot of the artwork hasn't been completed yet, so you'll see some placeholder textures and models and stuff like that, but a lot more stuff in here than last time we showed it. Alright, so I made a little demo scenario to show some things. We're going to play it in two-player hot seat. Also, a little placeholder texture. So yeah, we're going to play this in two-player hot seat so I can control everything that's going on. Also some placeholder music here. Don't need a password, playing against myself. Okay, so for my little demo here, I'm using the map from the first mission of the US campaign. A pretty good example of maps in Black Sea. They're pretty big with lots of space to move around in for the most part. There are, of course, a lot of small maps too. There's I think a pretty good mix. Okay, so for the demo, I have got a bunch of Abrams. You guys have already seen some pictures of these, but what the heck, here's some more. They're pretty cool. Lots of upgrades since Shock Force. ERA on the sides, two layers of it actually. The blocks are the first layer, and then you got these tiles on top of them. An RWS remote weapon station, 50 cal, some other fun things. Okay, let's see what else have we got. And for calling in fire support, I'm not going to show any soldiers up close just yet because they are still the models are pretty much done, but the textures are still being worked on, and they're a mishmash of really crazy looking textures and pure black unmapped textures, and they look ugly right now. But we've got some forward observers and some air controllers sitting up here in a tall building. And then back here in the corner we've got some self-propelled mortars sitting back here in a little position. Alright, so first step for this is I'm going to go ahead and give everyone a circular covered arc. I don't want them to start shooting right away. So now everyone's got a circular covered arc, and they're just going to sit there and mind their own business. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, UAVs. We are going to pull out the TAC-P team, which has air controllers. UAVs are in a new little slot right here. Support slot. They have their own little support interface. It works very similar to the air support interface. So UAVs, you can give them a point target, which is it's not going to be an exact point target, but it's a smaller area where they're going to focus on it more, and you can get much better spotting information. You can, of course, do an area target up to 700 meters, smaller amount, 700 meter diameter circle, smaller amount for smaller UAVs like the hand-thrown ones, like the Raven. And you can also give them a linear target, and that way you can have them watch along the back of a ridge line or a highway like I'm doing here, and they'll spot along this line and the area around it, and so it's nice for being able to have them follow a linear feature. So this is an unarmed UAV, so all it can do is observe. So we'd go ahead and give it observe.
Stand by for catch request.
Alright, so that spotter's now busy. So now we're going to go ahead and pull out another spotter, and we're going to get an MQ-1C Gray Eagle going. And we're going to have him hunt for targets over here. So we'll give him max area, 700 diameter meter circle. Go ahead and have him observe for now. But he's armed, so we can actually have him attack stuff.
Stand by for catch request.
Alright, that's good for now for the US. Let's go ahead and switch to Russia. It's a hot seat, so I'm playing the Russians as well. We also do not want the Russians to shoot at everything, so we're going to go ahead and give them a covered arc. Alright, and for the Russians, the Russians also have some UAVs. They're not quite as prevalent as the US UAVs. Currently the only units that have them organically assigned to formations are the brigade reconnaissance teams. So we're gonna go ahead and get the Zala, their version of one of their hand-launched UAVs, one of the small ones. Go ahead and have him observe over here, and we're gonna hopefully spot that mortar battery, or that mortar platoon.
Запрос поддержки, прием.
And to demonstrate some tracking moving units with the UAVs, let's get these guys moving. We'll give them a 30-second pause. UAVs are really good at spotting vehicles, especially moving vehicles, and infantry a bit harder to spot, but if they are doing a point mission with a smaller search area, and or the infantry are moving, then the infantry become easier to spot, and especially if they're out in the open. Alright, so we went ahead and moved some vehicles along that highway there that the UAV is going to be watching, and I think we're good other than that. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here. So yeah, the Russians have spotted. Actually, let's show the Russians. This is untextured, but it's a T-90AM right here. I got a bunch of them sitting here in hull down. So they've got a clear view. I've given them all orders not to fire, so they're all just sitting here staring at each other right now. But they're sitting here in clear view of each other. One thing to notice is, you'll see later, is these tanks have a laser warning system. They can tell when they're being lased with an enemy rangefinder or something like that, and a pop-up message will tell you that. But because I've given them all these cover arcs, they're not lasing enemy units outside of their area, so they're not going to give away their positions. So you won't have to worry about your tanks giving themselves away by lasing enemy tanks if they're not supposed to be shooting at them. Alright, let's see if we can get a spot over there. Not yet. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the US side. Get a bunch of spots as normal, because we got a bunch of guys in high buildings here. There we go. So yeah, the UAV watching this highway here spots these guys. It's pretty much like a normal unit spotting, except it's a it's a support asset doing the spotting. Didn't actually manage to get the spot until he'd already stopped moving. Doesn't help that they're right next to a bunch of tall trees. Questions. Let's see, we got questions. Someone asks, will there be tank riders in this? No, tank riders are a ton of work to do, and they're not really applicable to this setting, so no tank riders. I can't emphasize enough how much work it is to make tank riders work in this game. It's not as simple as just plopping infantry down on the tanks. A lot of stuff has to be done behind the scenes to make it happen. So if that was to go in, something else would have to go out. Other question, patch to vehicle pack. We're working on it right now. It's in final candidate testing along with the Red Thunder patch. Both of them should be coming out very soon. So, and another question is the action super intense? Yes, it can get very violent very quickly. It's pretty unforgiving of mistakes sometimes, as I'll show you in just a minute when I let all these units start shooting. Okay, so let's do. All right, what have we got here? He still hasn't spotted anything. All right, we're gonna let him go another turn until he spots something. Probably still getting into position. Fast forward. There we go. Okay, so now that UAV over there has started spotting stuff, and I can see it on the map. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have to let this turn go through. Alright. We are going to go ahead and have UAV start shooting at stuff. Okay, so this guy has the armed UAV. It's currently observing. what I can do is, now that it's observing, it hasn't spotted anything on its own other than the tanks on the ridgeline. What I can do is I can have it go over here and attack something. We can just have it switch between observing and attacking. So you just do an adjust mission like everything else. Do a point target over here. Have it attack this BMP over here. Let's go ahead and zoom in over there. Yes, the that's exactly what I'm doing now, Dutchman. The UAV can then go ahead and tell sorry, I can't talk. The UAV operator can then go ahead and call in a strike, or of course you can just set a big area target and have the UAV attack targets on its own. But the way I'm doing it right now, it's a very strict policy, like the UAV is not attacking unless I specifically tell it to. So I'm going to go ahead and have it attack this BMP.
Stand by for cast request.
Alright, so then he'll switch to that, and in a couple of minutes that BMP will hopefully go up in smoke. While we're at it, so where is this guy? Okay, so this JTAC team, or TACP team, has is controlling the UAV watching along this road right here. So here's something that's a little fun. There is still the restriction that every FO team can only be directing one fire mission, but there is a slight exception. If they are directing UAV, they can also direct one fire support mission. So you can use the UAV to do spotting and then call in fire support with the same team. So, yeah. Interesting. Have to make a note of that. Something changed there and it shouldn't have. Ooh, you know what? I think I know what it might have been. Ooh, I think I just found a bug. Interesting. Okay, well. That was in last build and it just went out. So I'll have to tell that to Charles. He needs to put that back in. But yes, anyways, the idea is, I think I showed it in one of the previous streams when it was working. I could then call in like a precision mission on this guy or something and have artillery attack this from where the UAV was spotting. We'll just go ahead and call it in on something we can see. It works exactly the same. Where's a fire support team? There we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead and have these guys attack something. Do a point target. Precision requires a point target. Then you'll see it down here. It's going to be a selectable option. Precision ammunition is available for US, Russia, and Ukraine for specific artillery calibers, usually 152 or 155 millimeter, although I think it's available for a couple others. And it's also available for US and Russian 120 millimeter mortars.
Request fire mission, over.
So yep, 5 minutes and then a round's going to hit somewhere in this area. Okay. Switch to the Russians. Let's go ahead and call... Oh wait, that's right, I can't because that functionality got bugged out. Alright. Well, let's just go ahead and let the other support assets do their thing. Going to switch through some turns quickly here. Just fast forward till I see something blow up. Alright, we should see that MQ-1C attack in a moment. Oop, there he goes. Pretty much out of warning. I mean, out of nowhere. No warning. Wow, that was amazing. That actually... No, I'm pretty sure that's a KO. It just got really lucky and it didn't hit its ammo stock.
Roger.
Yeah, there it goes.
Out.
So that guy's knocked out. So yeah, you can use your UAVs if you have them available, the armed ones. You can use them to prowl around in areas you can't see and look for things to shoot at for you to direct your artillery at. Of course, the problem is... Oh, yep. Now he's starting to spot stuff over here now, too. The problem is